Before we even talk about anything, I want to establish the scenario and tell me if you think this is worth getting offended over. For years, a high school math department has been wearing this problem-solved costume for Halloween, presumably because math is such a complicated and frustrating subject to many, so in the spirit of Halloween, they've decided to make an exaggerated joke about punishing math teachers. This seems harmless, right? Well, that Star Wars girl has a very negative reaction to this. Now, to be fair, I'm cropping this for the sake of building excitement. The full context actually makes her look like an even bigger idiot. The context is that someone posted an image of them wearing the shirt, alongside some personal information that I will not show, stating to make them famous, because there are conservatives out there who, for some odd reason, think that this is a mockery of Charlie Kirk's assassination. I'm not kidding, people are actually saying this and are trying to get teachers fired over this, and Anna was one of those idiots who bought it, which is funny considering how smug she is in her videos that I've covered, where she's calling people idiots and stuff like that. In fact, that's what made me interested in highlighting once again how stupid this person is. With that aside, let's laugh at how insane these people are. I want to see evidence that the high school math department wore the same shirts last year. Post the picture. I'll wait. Immediately gets community noted. This person responds saying, here's your evidence, and very clearly shows that this image has existed in 2024. It's unreal how non-functional this narrative is already. My daughter graduated last year and doesn't remember the math teachers wearing these shirts. Damn, did she also forget half of calculus? I don't care what your daughter remembers. They have photographic evidence, you stupid idiot. You know, I thought this was the side that advocated for the notion that facts don't care about your feelings. We also have idiots like Riley Gaines weighing in on this too. Don't you see? They view you as a problem and they want you dead. Yeah, you really had to write dead in all caps.
It's sad. It's hilariously sad.
The fake outrage is insane. The costumes have nothing to do with political assassination, and idiots like Riley Gaines are framing innocent people as death worshippers. Here's an idea.
Show this to your editor. Tell him to check his source next time.
A Google search would have saved you from looking this stupid. That also might have saved you from losing that debate to the amazing Lucas on the Piers Morgan show. Bloodthirsty teachers celebrate Charlie Kirk assassination on campus. The Vale School superintendent and board members like Chris King-Faraz are protecting them. These people are psychopaths. They don't belong anywhere near children. Fire every single one of them immediately. I think some serious retractions are in order, because oh boy, if there is damage done as a result of these false claims, things will be very messy for you all. The superintendent is in complete and total damage control right now. I'm not buying his BS story one bit. Show me the picture from last year when the math department supposedly wore the same shirts, or do the right thing and fire every single one of these teachers immediately.
Here's your change!
You know, it's ironic that a guy who played Superman, someone you know who fights for truth, is promoting blatant misinformation that places a target on innocent people. Oh, what's this? He finally addresses the evidence? Still a terrible idea this year. They had to have known. Okay, so let me get this straight. He finally addresses the evidence, but then he pivots and says it's bad to wear this costume this year, and they have to have known. It's actually unreal how stupid this argument is.
What? What are you, stupid? What are you talking about?
But don't worry, we're gonna knock some sense into him.
1A! 1A!
We should not have to disrupt Halloween activities because of what happened to one guy 1 year. By that dumb logic, we need to shut down any bloody or violent costumes because they might be related to real-life tragedies. Guys, Charlie Kirk isn't the only victim of gun violence. This happens to people every single year. But all of a sudden, we need to start being more sensitive about blood on Halloween costumes? What a joke of an argument. Now, let's talk about the guy that Dean Cain was responding to.
He might be even stupider than you, if that's possible.
Concerned parents just sent us this image of what's believed to be teachers in Vale schools in Tucson, Arizona, mocking Charlie's murder with costumes that read, "Problem solved," and blood down the left side of their shirts. They deserve to be famous and fired. This is embarrassing. Look, judging by your bio, I get you had a close connection with the guy, and you have the right to be outraged over his death, but that doesn't then mean you get to exploit his death and create fake outrage over false and badly researched claims. I mean, take a look at your own bio. You're part of a media and news company. I'm gonna repeat that. You're part of a media and news company. It's literally your job as someone who's part of a media and news company to get these facts correct. So, quite honestly, whatever media and news company you work for, if there's anyone who has grounds to be fired, it's you. Because again, your job is to write the truth, not spread fake bullshit to people.
There's not a paper in town that will hire me.
You should have thought of that earlier.
Now, it'd be one thing if he deleted the posts and then retracted the information and put the correct information out there. That would actually be a show of journalistic integrity, but that's not what this person does. Maybe he will do it in the future. Maybe he'll do it after I release this video, but he hasn't done it yet. He clearly couldn't do it when the school district went out of their way to give context that disproves their claims. He acknowledges that the text on the shirt was in reference to solving math problems, and he just writes, "Who's buying this explanation?"
What?
What do you mean, who's buying this explanation? It's the truth. There's evidence of this scattered throughout all your replies. Like, what are you talking about? Update. Failed schools and these math teachers wore the same costume last year. I was waiting for confirmation, and it appears they did. Alright, I'm gonna stop you right there. Why didn't you Google this to begin with? That's all you had to do. I am updating the thread with that image. No. Updating the thread with that image? No. Delete it. Delete the original tweets because it has already gotten lots of traction and it is calling for these people to be fired. You need to delete it and then put out the correct information. You can't just add it to the thread as some extra, as some fucking Marvel post-credit scene. No. That needs to be put to the forefront. We've seen enough evil since Charlie's murder that I'd actually be relieved if this isn't another example. Well, it's not another example, so delete it. Put out the correct information, and to be quite honest, I think that should be pinned for the time being considering how large your bullshit has spread. That being said, it's a very weird costume for teachers in general. Not really. If you actually go outside, you see that a lot of people's costumes are bloody. And this isn't even heavily gory, this is PG-13 stuff. So no, if anything, you're just grasping at straws to find an issue with this. But after what happened to Charlie, I'm absolutely floored they wore it again. It doesn't matter. It's not in relation to him. Not every single Halloween costume is in relation to this. I understand that Halloween may be offensive to you, and I'm very sorry that offends you, but just because there's some experience out there that might be tangentially related to a Halloween costume doesn't mean you have to ban the Halloween costume. That's just fucking stupid. By this stupid logic, we shouldn't be allowed any accessories that could be lethal for Halloween costumes because someone could have died from a knife or a gun or any other form of weaponry. That is such a stupid argument. I can't believe this. Wow. I do not believe for a second that all of them are innocent. Well, innocent until proven guilty. If you cannot prove a single one of them are guilty, then your claim is unsubstantiated. I think he's addressing this information here just to save face on being called out for being a liar. But even when he's trying to do that, he still can't just be concrete and say, yeah, I got it wrong. It wasn't about Charlie Kirk. He can't just say, oh, you know what? There's no evidence against them. He doesn't apply the standard of innocent until proven guilty. He just says, well, I don't believe that all of them are innocent. He has no integrity whatsoever. He can't just be like, okay, I don't have proof of this, fine, my bad. He can't even do that. Which again, relates earlier to what I said about how he's part of a media and news organization. And I'm gonna be quite honest, if I were running an organization about media and news, I would fire this person, because this person did a shit job.
It's a fake. Empire State Photographic Department confirms it.
Now all of these innocent people are going to be victims of harassment, they're going to get all this unwanted attention, and potentially they're going to get threats from people who actually believe the nonsense that you put out. Someone like you does not belong in any news environment, because even when you get things wrong, you can't just fall on your sword and admit to it. You pull this bullshit.
Pack your things. Get out of my building.
I was just...
You're fired!
Some probably are, and it's for their sake that I'm updating the thread. Yeah, you see this wishy-washy bullshit? Some are probably innocent. No. Innocent until proven guilty. Prove that they're guilty, or shut the fuck up. But I believe others knew exactly what they were doing. No, I'm gonna say this right now. All of them knew exactly what they were doing. Because what they were doing was what they did last year before Charlie Kirk was even shot at. They would have worn this shirt whether he lived or died. Your argument is fucking stupid. If anybody should be fired, It's you.
Cause hot damn, you wanna know what's a scam? Your fucking education, nigga, that's what the scam is.
The district's decision to remove the image immediately after posting shows that anyone with a brain knew how this would be seen. So, removing the controversial image isn't them conceding to your bullshit. That's why they put out a statement debunking the bullshit that you're saying. There's multiple reasons they would have removed it. For one, it's bringing harassment and threats to these people. Whether or not they are in the wrong, which to be clear, they're not in the wrong, it is ultimately not worth risking the safety of students and staff at the school just to fight for a Halloween costume that they could easily replace. It's not worth the fight. So of course they're gonna stay on the safe side and just change it. That's not them conceding to your bullshit-ass narrative. And second of all, it's entirely possible that going into this, they didn't think it would be seen that way because that wasn't the original intent. They figured it would be obvious to anybody with a brain, something that you apparently don't have. And after realizing that they may have overestimated humanity's intelligence, they've decided to remove it. Very likely to avoid offending idiots like you. Final thought, school teachers have been among the worst offenders of mocking and celebrating Charlie's assassination. Okay, but these teachers haven't done that. You haven't shown any evidence of it. I have my theories as to why, but at this point, they should not be surprised that parents and the community are on high alert. Nah, I actually think it's pretty reasonable to be surprised by this, because I can't imagine how fucking stupid and neglectful of context you'd have to be to come to this nonsensical conclusion. A Google search would have debunked your stupid fucking claim. This was really sad. It really goes to show that even in the face of concrete evidence, these morons will still stand on their original, yet debunked narrative. When you do this, I'm less inclined to believe that you care about condemning the murder, and more about finding ways to benefit from it through fake outrage and willfully standing by false accusations. And while I still condemn the murder, and feel bad for those that are hurt by it, I feel less bad for those who specifically exploited his death to craft false narratives and farm outrage. Because again, that tells me you care less about his death and why it's bad that this person killed him, but rather you're looking for ways to benefit from it, or to farm fake outrage from it, which again is a pretty insipid thing to do. This all really comes down to looking for reasons to find Halloween offensive, and I'm very sorry that offends you all, but we're not shutting down Halloween because you might find a way to be overly offended over a blatant non-issue. So consider that problem solved.